Hello and welcome to this overview talk on studying the social sciences at the University of Southampton. My name is Dr. Brian Moss. I'm the current admissions tutor for Sociology, Social Policy and Criminology, or SSPC at the university. Let's take a look at the programs on offer. First of all, Southampton. Why would you pick Southampton? Well, Southampton has a diverse student body. It has a large number of sporting and cultural activities on offer to students, and also the university is a Russell Group member. This means it is research intensive, providing students with the best cutting edge education. In terms of its global and national standing, the University of Southampton also ranks quite highly. And at the last research exercise nationally, SSPC ranked in the top 5. But not just what we offer, it's what students get back. And I know that all students will be considering what are the employment prospects in terms of the end, at the point of graduation. SSPC and the university rank above the national average according to the most recent figures from the national authority. That is to say, most students end up progressing onto professional or graduate level employment opportunities after their degree program. But from the very first moment, it's not just what we can provide you in terms of class, it's also the overall support that we can provide you as a student. Let me take a quick look at some of the things that we do. From your first day, a student at Southampton and in SSPC will be offered a personal academic tutor. This is an academic member of staff who will provide general guidance and assistance to you in terms of whether it's study, welfare, health or financial issues, signposting you to the more appropriate services in the university to make sure that you achieve all that you want to achieve. The university also offers what's called a Uni-Buddy scheme. In the first 2 weeks of term, you will have the assistance of existing students in the university to help you settle in. The university also provides what are called enabling services right across the duration of your degree. These cover health, welfare and financial issues and other support services. And finally, the university has an active students' union, meaning that your interests will be represented by a body separate from the university itself, but to make sure that your university experiences is as good as it can possibly be. But don't just take my word for it. What I've included here are 2 comments from students who recently left the SSPC degrees. Both had different experiences, but both achieved ultimately what they wanted from the SSPC degree options. Sarah, studying criminology, came into us through clearing and felt it was one of the most fulfilling experiences. She found subjects that she really interested in, and she found great support from the SSPC team. Emily had an up and down experience at university. She took the opportunity and she was really interested in certain subjects, and she made the most of that and achieved her ambition of a high standing degree. Importantly for Emily, she also was able to access and she will begin a policing career in the next few weeks. 2 different experiences, but both coming out with a good background and an enriching experience in terms of SSPC involvement. Turning to the degree programs and the 5 degree programs that we offer. I've listed them here using different colors so you can see what the names are. If you require more information on the individual modules or entry criteria and so on, I've also included the web link at the bottom of this page. Hopefully this will be of use to you, but I will explore some of the aspects of the programs as we go through in the next few minutes. Each of the 5 degree programs is structured in the same way. A student will study over a 3-year period, and every year will consist of what are called 2 semesters. Semester 1 runs from autumn to winter, and semester 2 from spring to summer. And each of the semesters will consist of a teaching period followed by an assessment period. So let's take a look at what this means in more detail. On a day-to-day basis for a student, in each semester they will cover 4 modules. A module is basically a set of classes and assessed or appraised at the end by some sort of formal examination of your knowledge. In terms of a module composes of 2 types of class: lecture or large-scale classes where you could be sitting in a single room with several hundred students, as indicated by the picture at the top here, or smaller classes called seminars or tutorials that are based on more interactive learning and discussion and group work, as indicated by the second picture. Any module will comprise roughly 150 hours of work, and this could mean on a weekly basis 12 to 14 contact hours across your modules. However, students will also be expected to engage in what's called independent study, using the library, reading at home, going online, whatever it is, either to prepare in advance or to catch up material just covered in a lecture or a seminar. Some students make advantage and take the benefit of independent study, and some might use the library for restful activities. Either way, what you put into your degree, what you put into each module, will be reflected in your final assessment and your overall degree. But between the lectures, seminars, and independent study, every student will find a different strength in terms of how they best prepare and best learn. In terms of the assessment type in any module, assessment can comprise several different elements or several different formats. These could be essays, singular or group presentations, exams, book reviews, and proposals. However, every student, when they reach year 3, the final year of the degree programme, will be required to undertake what's called a dissertation. And this is an opportunity to grasp with both hands. A dissertation is like a large essay. In the SSPC, it's 10,000 words long, and it's a chance for you to shine and show what you've learned in a particular area of study. It could be around terrorism. It could be around the emergence of inequalities in a different society. It could be around in something in psychology in terms of motivation of individuals or offenders. It will very much come down to you to pick what it is you want, but you'll be supported by a dissertation supervisor to get the best out of your dissertation. One of the questions we get asked quite a lot in recent months is how will we deliver any degree program under COVID-19 restrictions or if another lockdown emerges? And the answer is very, very simple. Southampton already has a wealth of experience in dealing with online learning, particularly from the March just gone. In the last 6 months, it has established and improved its performance in terms of online learning. And in the years ahead, what we're looking at is a combination of face-to-face as well as remote learning. Through this combination of personal academic tutor, module leaders, online resources, as well as face-to-face, most likely in seminars and tutorials, students can be assured of receiving the best education possible. Let's take a brief look at the disciplines involved in SSPC degrees. These are Anthropology, Criminology, Psychology, and Sociology. Anthropology is about what it's like to be a human, how this differs in terms of expectations and past norms. It looks at the evolution of population, society, digital lives, language and thought, and developing institutions to support societies. The kind of puzzles you might expect to encounter at Southampton could include the effects of lead poisoning in social housing, how to respond to bushfires like we've seen in Australia in recent months, or what to do about food shortages. And several anthropologists, upon graduation, go to work in organisations like the United Nations, studying the issues and effects and trying to deal with food shortages. Looking at criminology, criminology is the study of crime, its causes, reactions and consequences. It looks at different agencies involved, but also links with other subjects, history, geography, economics and web science. In terms of the variety of topics that might be considered, I've included here a book by one of the recent SSPC staff members on police leadership. Importantly, if you're studying criminology, you must understand that it is not forensic science. We don't do crime scene analysis. If a student has an interest in looking at crime scene analysis and forensic science, you would need to study the natural sciences, such as chemistry, biology, and physics. Criminology has a wide range of topics. My own area and background is in policing and probation, but there are other issues such as prisons, criminological psychology, cybercrime and youth justice. Academic staff in SSPC are constantly producing books, reports and so on abstract and real ideas about crime criminology, and I've included one here. But we also engage with ongoing debate around these kind of issues. On the right hand side, I've included one of my own recent articles that looks at police inspectorates across the UK. However, beyond these, you might consider other puzzles within criminology. These could include, is COVID-19 an issue for the police? Should the England and Wales or the UK reintroduce the death penalty? Or what should we do about racism in sport? There's also the challenge that increasingly we're moving beyond what might be called old style hard crime and increasingly more digital crime. So students have the chance to study a range of topics. In terms of psychology, separately from anthropology and criminology, psychology is about the study of the mind. What are the motivations of individuals? How do the actions of some affect others? Topics that a student could cover at Southampton include development of children, anxiety among workers, the effects of crime on victims, and the effect of punishment on offenders. Importantly for any student considering their BSc Criminology and Psychology, It is accredited by the British Psychological Society, and this is an important aspect of our degree and a real benefit in terms of progressing to become a full psychologist and in terms of the labour market. The kind of puzzles you might expect to cover in psychology could include: how can violent offending be reduced? How can we manage trauma? Or what to do about burnout among blue light workers, nurses, firefighters or police officers, and in terms of anxiety and the effect it might have on their own families. Importantly, our staff in SSPC are producing ongoing research in this area, such as the book here about psychology and crime by Dr. Craig Webber. Finally, we have sociology, and sociology is about the study of society and its various elements: families, education, media, military, communities, governments, inequalities. I've included some of the topics covered by SSPC staff in recent books on the right-hand side. But the research at Southampton is wider than just these books. It covers digital work in the digital economy, race, ethnicity and whiteness, young people, internships, and so on. Some of the puzzles that you might expect to see in sociology could include: does redlining exist outside the USA, or that certain minority groups are forced in certain areas and then can't access loans, can't access schooling services, and so on? What jobs will be taken by robots in the future? How can we stop the spread of fake news? What do we think about fast fashion? Or animal testing in terms of cosmetics? These are some of the issues that come up time and again and that you might have a particular interest in, and we will encourage that in your growth at Southampton. Sociology, psychology, criminology, and anthropology do mesh and do share common topics. Examples could include the position of dominant versus marginal groups that has been in the press in recent times in BBC, or the position of young people in society. It could be about global and local capital and labour, the regulation, profit transfer, and the treatment of workers, such as Unilever, who own Ben & Jerry's. It could be issues around the position of sport, or it could be such issues of wildlife crime and the effect of this in the economy and society and environment. But common to each of these, sociology, anthropology, criminology, and psychology, is the study of policy. What should we do? What can we do about these individual topics? The basic programme structure for SSPC is that all 5 of the degrees will share a common first-year programme. I've been trying to represent this by using 5 seeds going into a common soil. So, for example, in year 1, for incoming students studying sociology, criminology, sociology, and anthropology, understanding everyday life is a module that they will share, but as well they will do that with students from crim and psychology. Another module shared would be criminal justice studies, the examination of the criminal justice system, the courts, police, prisons, and probation. There's also an introduction to criminology, criminological theory and perspectives. Why do certain individuals commit crime? How have these theories developed over time? And there are also differences between the 4 degrees that some students will take and the 5th degree crim and psych. So, for example, in crim and psych, students will consider introduction to psychology and will then advance on that in terms of behavioral neuroscience. Why do people behave the way they do? For more information on the modules, please visit the web link that I set out earlier on. While there's a common first-year programme, in years 2 and year 3, there will be an individual focus in the different streams for crim, sociology, sociology and anthropology, criminology and psychology, and sociology and criminology. And I've tried to represent this, that while there's a common soil, 5 different shoots will emerge from years 2 and year 3 in terms of the individual stream. So here are an example of some of the modules available to students in years 2 and year 3 in anthropology and psychology on the left, and then in year 2 and year 3 in criminology and sociology on the right. And students can pick across these modules as well, making sure that they have their core stream, but also can pick aspects from other modules on offer. One of the things we try and do in Southampton is encourage you to extend and widen your degree. This could include a semester abroad, occurring in year 3, and popular destinations include Canada, Norway, Australia, and Spain. Specific SSPC destinations include Japan, Brazil, Canada, and the Netherlands. And students can receive financial support to go abroad. I went abroad as an undergraduate, and it was of benefit to me in terms of improving my French language, in terms of broadening my cultural horizons, and in terms of getting my first job. A student could also decide to take a year in employment. This would take place after year 2, can be up to 12 months outside of the university in an employment position, and importantly, this would feature on your degree. So you would be showing an employer that you have real experience that they could utilise and might make you more attractive to them. Another way of extending and widening your degree is through what are called curriculum innovation modules. These take place in second year, and they are intended to give students transferable skills for employment. Subjects include living and working on the web, something that has become increasingly important since the advent of COVID-19, or ethics in a complex world. How should a firm behave? A final way to extend and widen your degree is through taking what are called minor modules. A student would complete 5 modules during the degree, starting in semester 2 of year 1, and if you complete the 5 modules, this minor aspect of your degree would appear in your degree certificate, again giving you advantage to a prospective employer. There are 23 subjects on offer, including film, international relations, and sustainability. However, it's important to note that among these 23, there's also the wider advantage of having modern languages, and students can pick from one of 11 modern languages on offer, including French, Spanish, Chinese, and Arabic. Again, adding to your profile and making you more appealing to an employer at the point of graduation. So where is it that SSPC graduates end up? Most of the students who come to us are interested in one of the 3 areas of police, prisons, and probation. However, SSPC in the social sciences is much wider than that. I myself have a background in social sciences and policy research, so I'd be interested in encouraging students to look at social research roles. There are a number of consultancy firms in the UK and further afield, but there's also civil service roles, education, and non-governmental or charity roles as well. Students, importantly, should see an SSPC degree as a potential stepping stone, not their endpoint. This means that an SSPC degree at Southampton will prepare you to show that you can read, analyse, and propose original material or policies for an employer. So students could go into other careers areas such as human resources, business, accountancy, or teaching. Whatever you decide, whatever you're interested in, we have a careers practitioner to SSPC who will assist you from first year right through to your point of graduation. I've pictured Laura Messenger here, our careers practitioner, and Laura is well placed to help any student identify what their goals are and to try and achieve them. If you're still unsure about everything that I've presented so far, let me try and give you 4 quick points about why you should consider a social science degree in Southampton. First, the programme, the teaching and modules on offer cover a wide range of issues by experts and people who have published in their fields. 2, the issue of instruction. Outside of the standard modules, we have career support, the social impact lab, trying to encourage you in such things as developing social enterprises, like Tom's Shoes, for example, where the firm sells one shoe, and for every shoe that it sells, it provides a shoe to a person in the developing world. Or in terms of the library, both its resources and its space for working. The campus life. Southampton offers an excellent campus life in terms of sporting and cultural recreational activities, in terms of learning and social spaces around the campus, and in terms of student services to support you during your 3 years. And finally, in terms of knowledge, not only do we offer the core module in teaching and instruction, but we also have in SSPC what's called the Institute of Criminal Justice Research, where we invite in experts in their field to provide a presentation of their work. There's also the research software there, where students gain hands-on experience of using such things as digital mapping that could be used in the likes of redlining of areas that I mentioned earlier on. You could also look at quantitative analysis and using database analysis, again, a skill that employers look for, from my own experience, having used it in the past in different roles. So to take these 4 points of programme, instruction, campus life and knowledge together, what I try and give you is the acronym of PICK. What I encourage you to do is pick the right path and pick Southampton for an SSPC degree. If you still have questions, there will be links on the day available to you, but also they're on our website at the moment. There is an Ask Our Students and Staff facility. This is where you can contact a student and ask a question about what's life like, what does the degree entail, and so on. And I've given you the web link here through which you can do that. Also take a look at the university's Twitter page. Here, broad information and specific information about the university and university life is displayed on a regular basis. All that remains for me to do is to thank you for listening, to wish you the best in your choices, and we hope that you would consider a social sciences degree at the University of Southampton. We look forward to seeing you, hopefully in the near future.